guys, we are gonna make some homemade margaritas tonight.
And there's some gnocchi and salad.
Yeah.
And a salmon burger.
Hi, sis.
Hi, sorry. Ken was FaceTiming Hannah, so I just said hi.
Oh, that's okay.
Are you home?
I'm home. You're on speaker.
Hi, Rai.
Hello.
Right now we're making margaritas.
Oh, gosh.
Just like, yeah. Like low key. Say hi to the vlog. We're filming.
The vlog?
Yeah, say hi.
Hey, vlog. Are they able to hear me?
Ken, yeah, they'll be able to hear you. Also, you're on speaker. Okay, also,
Yeah.
I want to do a video with you over Thanksgiving if you want to, where, because I feel like a bunch of people want to know specifically, obviously most of my subscribers are like nurses or want to be nurses.
Yeah.
And a lot of people always ask about like your accelerated program and your experience and blah, blah, blah. So I think it'd be like a really good video to do.
I agree, let's do it.
Like I'll sit down and kind of like interview you. I'll ask people what they want to ask you and then we'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, sounds fun. It's really good. It's really rich though, you know? Do you think so?
Why don't we just have Laura teach us how to make it? She's all back
she's
on
supposed to. Guys, I just had my leftover pizza. Talked to my sis for a while. Yeah, we put on the pizza.
Awesome.
Well, you're so cute. Say hi, fam. Hi, family. Hi, family. Okay. What's up, guys? Okay, so I'm trying out a new background, and if you notice this thing on my forehead, I'm trying to take care of it, so just ignore it. Welcome back to my channel. We're doing a Q&A today, and I just included that like beginning footage of us making our cocktails, which mine is right here. I also feel really white. Need to self-tan. Okay. Anyways, I thought I would jump on here. Ryan's just downstairs watching football, and I thought I would just jump on here and answer at least the nursing side, or the ones that are directed right at me, so I can answer those for you guys, and then Ryan will come join us for like the second portion of this video. Let's jump right in. Okay, someone asks, does OR like to usually hire new grad OR nurses? I will be graduating with an RN. So, does OR like to / usually hire new grad OR nurses? So I think it totally just depends on the hospital. I think some hospitals are more willing to, if they have like an educational preceptorship / new grad residency program, then I think 100% they are willing to hire new grad RNs. I think that the hospitals that don't offer educational opportunities are less likely to hire anyone without 2 years of experience, but that'll just be dependent on when you go to apply to the school, or not the school, when you go to apply to the actual hospital, you'll be able to tell whether they are asking for 2 years of experience, or always look if they have like a new grad residency program, because that's what I think will set you up for success as to getting that job if they have something like that to offer. Let's see. Advancement opportunities for OR nurses. Do you think it's hard to switch to another specialty later? I don't necessarily think it's hard to switch to a different specialty. I just think that it's like switching from any specialty to any other specialty. However, the OR is very unique in the sense that we don't do a ton of direct patient care. So I would say that that's the one thing that does make OR nurses kind of stand out in that way. We don't do a ton of IV starts and normal things that you would do like on a ton of other units on the floor. So I would probably just say that I don't think that there would be anything wrong with switching from the OR. I don't think anyone would like steer you away from it or be like, oh, you only worked in the OR, so you're not gonna be good on this floor. Like, I don't think that that would happen. But as far as advancement opportunities go in the OR, you can get your CNOR, so you can be certified nurse operating room. So it's a certification. You get paid more per hour for having it, and it's just a test that you take. And you can also move up in the way of management and that's really it. Like, you can be the charge nurse, you can be a nurse educator, and you can go up into management. Without going back to school, that's really the only advancement opportunities that I am aware of. Advice for someone about to graduate, have no idea what field to go into. This is hard. Honestly, I feel like you should just go with your gut and try something that maybe challenges you a little bit, or maybe you're a little bit scared of. Like for me, for the OR, I knew that I liked it and would like the work-life balance aspect of it. I knew I would like the schedule, but I was honestly terrified of what it was going to actually be like. So I think just go into something that challenges you a little bit, something that you're intrigued by, and something that you're not going to get bored of. Did I ever have doubts about becoming a nurse in nursing school? This is such a loaded question because I feel like nursing school now was, let's see, I graduated in 2016, so I've been out for almost 4 years now, 3.5 years, and it's hard to remember exactly how I felt in nursing school, but I want to say that I don't think I ever had doubts when I was in school. I just was like, during some of my clinicals, I remember feeling, wow, I don't ever want to do this type of nursing, which I think is normal because there's someone for every type of nursing. We're not all the same. We don't all like the same things, and we don't all thrive in the same areas. So I think it's normal to have feelings like, I don't know if I'd be good at this. I don't know if I would like this. So I think that's completely normal if you are feeling that way. But I also never had thoughts of like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. I want to quit. I can't go on. Like, this isn't going to be worth it. I never had feelings like that. So if that's what you're feeling, I would just say maybe like look into that a little bit more and try to continue on. And if it just really isn't what you're passionate about, it really isn't what you are looking forward to in life, then maybe just move on to a different career, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think more so there's days in my career now that I have feelings of doubt, like, oh, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Versus when I was in nursing school, I don't really feel like I ever felt that way, because I feel like if I felt that way enough, then I would have changed my path a little bit, if that makes sense. Biggest piece of advice for nursing school. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. I think my best piece of advice, and obviously it depends on what stage of life you are in. So if you are, maybe you already got a bachelor's degree and you've kind of had your fun and lived your life as a college student, and now you are on to like an accelerated program, you're just trying to get it done and kind of, you know, your direction, I would just say like focus everything into that. Like, life will go on after that. So I would say just like literally focus all your time and efforts into it, get through it, graduate, take your NCLEX, and then like this whole world of opportunities is going to open up for you. If you are doing an undergrad bachelor's of science in nursing like I did, just make sure that you, yes, of course you have to focus on school. It's super competitive these days, and there were tons of nights that I had to stay in and study versus going out and doing things. But I would just say try to make the best of your entire experience, because that's what ultimately is going to get you through. That's what you're going to remember when you look back on your college days. It's not all the nights in that you stayed in studying. It's going to be the fun times you had with your friends, the connections you made, and all of that. So yes, take it seriously. Yes, study your butt off and do well in school, because ultimately that'll make you feel really good. But also don't miss out on opportunities just because you're trying to focus so much on school. Like, if you get a C, it's not the end of the world. And just remember, like, once you are a nurse, no one cares like what your grades were. So don't try not to get too competitive with people. I just remember some people being like constantly like, well, what'd you put for this answer? What'd you put for this answer? What'd you put for this answer? And just like, oh, I got a 98 on the test. Not that there's anything wrong with that if you're that type of person, but it can discourage others a lot. So I would just say, like, don't let that stuff get to you. Be yourself. Be as smart as you can. Obviously, do your best. But if you fall short in certain areas, like, it's okay. You're gonna move on. You're still gonna be a nurse. So yeah, live life to its fullest every day. That's my advice. Was I in a sorority in college? I was a Pi Beta Phi in college at TCU. The short for that is Pi Phi. And that's actually how I know Julia Havens, if you guys follow her as well. I know a lot of you guys do follow both of us. But yeah, I was a Pi and I loved it. My favorite Starbucks drink right now is grande iced coffee with no sweetener, and add pumpkin cold foam. So you guys know, like, before this drink I would also do grande iced coffee with either just regular cream, sweet cream, or the cold foam added on. So now that they have the pumpkin one, it's just so yummy. I love everything pumpkin flavored. Yes, I'm that girl. But this drink is great because it's not super sweet. It's just the right amount of sweetness, and it's delicious, honestly. That's my favorite right now. Someone says, I can't choose between nursing or a different major. How'd you know nursing was right for you? I kind of answered this question in one of my really early on nursing Q&A videos, but I think that I knew I wanted to be a nurse when I took, I took anatomy and physiology in high school, which was offered, which was awesome. I also took a sports medicine class, and I also took a CNA class, so a certified nursing assistant class in high school. And I just remember, like, I got 100% on every test, and I just understood it. I got it. It made sense to me. I always wanted to be able to take care of people, as cliche as it sounds, and just like help people. And I was a babysitter my whole life. I was a dance instructor. Like, I just loved teaching people, helping people. Obviously now I'm like an influencer, a YouTuber. Like, I really genuinely like to see people be happy and be healthy and be the best versions of themselves. So I think ultimately that's what motivated me to go to nursing school, was that reason, and honestly nothing else. Is there one thing that stands out as a tip for a new grad nurse? Also, I love your vlogs. Thank you. Let's see. One thing that sticks out as a new grad nurse. I think the one thing I would say is being confident. I think going into interviews, having a sense of who you are, who you want to be as a nurse. I think that's plays a huge role in when you are interviewing for jobs, and just being able to, like, speak from experience that you have, which you don't have as an actual registered nurse, but you do have from 4 years, 2 years, a year and a half of school. So you have all of this knowledge and wealth of knowledge because you literally just got done learning everything that there is to know about nursing. So I think that you should use to your advantage, and just be confident, be yourself. Make sure that you also realize that this first job is going to be instrumental to your career. Honestly, like, the first place you work, I just feel like, and if it's not a great fit, like, yes, of course you can move on, you can go on to the next job, but I just feel like it's the place that you will remember as your first job as a nurse, and kind of jumpstarts your career. So yeah, that's what I would say. How strict is your work schedule as an OR nurse? Do you get to choose which days you work? No. The way that we schedule, we do not get to schedule ourselves. We have a set day off per week, and so mine is Wednesdays. It used to be Mondays when I was following my preceptor. Yeah, so I used to have Mondays off, now I have Wednesdays off. So they give you a set day off, obviously, because we can't all have the same day off. And you also have the option of choosing, at my hospital, working 410s, 5/8s, or 312s, which is really nice in my opinion, because you get a different choice than just working 312s, which I know a lot of nurses only get the option of working 312s, but with that you get to self-schedule yourself, so you can kind of make your time off more personalized. Like, you can kind of decide which days you want off, when, and which days you want to work. For me, I just have a set schedule every single week, unless I switch with a nurse or something like that, which we do have the availability to do. And obviously we put in time for vacation and stuff, like specific days that we want off. But otherwise, it's a set schedule, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 6:30 to 5. How do you deal with the stresses of nursing, i.e. sometimes it really gets me knowing seeing your body can just fail you? Okay, so I'm guessing she's saying really gets me. So how do I deal with the stresses of nursing? Honestly, I have my support system, and I have people that I trust that I can talk to about when I am feeling stressed, when I am feeling down, when I am feeling tired and physically exhausted. I also know my body and my mind, and I know that the few things that I need to do for myself, like working out every single day, or not every single day, but working out each day as a priority. I know that eating healthy makes me feel good. I know spending time with my loved ones. So I guess just keeping yourself, holding yourself to the same standard for work as you do in your personal life. So yes, put everything into your work, do the best job that you can while you're at work, but when you leave and you clock out, leave that part of yourself at work and just try your best to then go and focus on yourself, do things for yourself, continue to stay in touch with your friends, take a bath, read a book, like whatever it is, go to a movie that like makes you happy and fulfilled. Don't stop doing those things. Make sure you give yourself self-love, have compassion for yourself. You coming in?
Yeah, I didn't know you were doing this.
Oh, well, I'm just doing like the nursing portions.
Oh.
What are you doing down there?
Watching football.
Yeah, that's what I told him. Oh, geez. Look, we're matching.
Want to do that? Come down and cuddle with me.
But if we do that, then we're gonna have to take my car because your truck is way too loud.
I got the tires moved and I put a lot of air on them, so I'm much better.
Oh, jeez. Okay. What are you praying? Someone says, nervous about ABSN program. Can you give any tips about being successful? Yes. I think honestly, so I'm gonna do a whole video, as you guys heard earlier, I'm gonna do a whole video with my sister talking about her accelerated program. So I feel like that'll help you guys and answer a lot of your questions that you have, because I did not do an accelerated program, which some of you might not know. I just literally went right from high school graduation to an from high school graduation to a Bachelor of Science of Nursing degree in 4 years. So I did my undergrad and my nursing school all in 4 years and graduated with my degree. So with that being said, let's see, I understand the nerves. I remember my sister being super nervous. Two of my really good friends from work, one of them is now in an accelerated program, and my friend Katie is gonna start hers in January, so I get the nerves. I think if it's something you really want, then you're gonna get through it, like no matter what the circumstances are. Like my one friend right now, she's married, she has a three-year-old daughter, works at my work, obviously, so like it's totally doable to, I think Emmy burnt her salmon. Yeah, it's totally doable. So I would just say if you have nerves, that's completely normal, but don't let it steer you away from it. Just go in with confidence, go in ready to learn. You're gonna feel overwhelmed at times. Know how you handle stress and be able to kind of tackle that, and you're gonna get through it. Is nursing school worth it? How did you stay motivated? I 100% think that it's worth it. I love the fact that when I tell people I'm a nurse, it's always a positive reaction. Like I've never once gotten a negative reaction from someone when I say, oh yeah, I'm a nurse. People are intrigued by the profession, people respect the profession, and I really do feel like it is what I was called to do. There's gonna be days where you want to come home or days in school or days when you're working and you're gonna feel defeated, you're gonna feel burnt out, but I feel like that comes with every single job. Like literally even my job as a YouTuber, my job as an influencer, there's days where I feel super down and burnt out. So I don't think there's any career that you're gonna have a good day every single day. I definitely think that it's worth it. How did I stay motivated? I think just the people around you help you stay motivated. Like the other people in your cohort and your class will help you stay motivated because you guys are all going towards the same goal. You all want the same thing. I think having mentors and looking up to people that are in the career path that you want to pursue is great. Gives you something to look forward to and all of the good parts of nursing. So that's what I would say. Can you talk about confidence? Do you feel confident often? If so, do you have any tips? I feel like I do feel confident often. I feel like it's the way that I was raised in part. I also just feel like it's my personality. I can definitely be shy in situations when I feel like other people kind of want the light, the spotlight, or the attention on them. I'm not necessarily like the attention seeker or like hold the attention of a room, but I definitely feel like I have always been a confident person. It's never really something I've struggled with. I'm trying to think about tips. I think just doing like self-reflections and realizing that we all have insecurities, kind of honing in on what those are for you and knowing what they are and being able to kind of accept your insecurities and love yourself anyways is a big part of confidence. I think once you fully love yourself, then it's easier for everyone else to kind of love you and respect you. There's always going to be people out there that want to tear you down. It still happens to me every single day at work, and being confident just kind of mitigates how much you let other people's opinions of you affect you, if that made any sense at all. So that's what I would say. I think it's constantly something that we can all work on, is being more confident in ourselves. I don't think it's ever something that's just like handed to you and you're like, okay, now you're confident, go be free. Like, it's always going to get the best of you at times. But yeah, I'm a new nurse. Did you ever experience incivility or nurses eating their young as a nurse? So this is a really interesting question. I feel like I was really lucky at my hospital. Sorry, wow, why does my eye itch so much? Yeah, I feel like I was really lucky at my hospital because I didn't experience nurses eating their young like some of my friends did. I think it's all dependent on where you go to work and which department you go to work. I think honestly it's so hard to say because so many of my friends did experience this, and not even necessarily from like older nurses, like super older nurses, like the baby boomers, that a lot of which are retiring at this age. There's going to be a huge influx of new nurses because they're going to need more and more nurses. So I don't know, it's hard to say. I know people that have experienced it. One of my really good friends from going through my peri-op nurse residency program, who went to work at another facility, got literally bullied by like older nurses, like to the point where they physically assaulted her in the sense of like cutting off a piece of her hair that was sticking out of her hat. Like, instead of just being like, oh, your hair's sticking out, it's putting it back in her hat, they literally physically cut her hair off. So that's not to scare anyone. I'm just saying, I think at some hospitals they take confident, new, young, vibrant nurses and they see them as a threat, and instead they like treat that as like a threat instead of helping bring them up to be something that they are now, that they wish they would have had when they were starting out. We all start out as new nurses. I don't understand the eating your young. I don't get it. We all started out at ground zero. It just blows my mind. So it does happen. Luckily, I did not experience that at my hospital. How much time do you really need to spend studying for the NCLEX? This is such a good question because I literally would have like Googled this question when I was doing the same thing. I had friends that literally studied for 3 to 6 months for the NCLEX. I studied for 3 weeks. So I graduated and I set my test date for 3 weeks after, and I only studied for 3 weeks and I was completely fine. I passed. Yes, I was nervous, and I would say I probably studied, let's see, after graduation, I think I took like 2 or 3 days off, and then I studied every day for like 2.5, a little more than 2.5 weeks for like 5 to 8 hours per day, and then I took it. So that's what I did. I'm not saying it works for everyone. I literally did have friends that studied for 3 months, for closer to 6 months, and still passed, but that's just what they felt they needed to be confident going into the test and taking it. So it's totally individualized. But I think I was probably one of the people that studied like the least amount of time, but that's also just my personality. I just like to get it done, so that's what I did. Have you ever considered medical school? Would other nurses look down on you for it? I don't think people would look down on me for it at all. I think if they are, then they just need to turn the finger back around and like look at themselves, because I would never look down on anyone for furthering their career, for furthering their education, ever. Like, I think it's awesome. I don't think personally that I have the drive to go back to 8 more years of school. I think at this point right now, I would rather either go to nurse practitioner school, CRNA school, or aesthetic school to kind of further myself, or maybe just get my master's of science in nursing. I don't think that I have any motivation to want to be a doctor at this point in my life. Tips for not getting sick. This is an interesting one. Honestly, guys, if I had the answer to that, I don't know, I could solve all the world's problems. But I think staying hydrated, working out regularly, whatever that looks like for you, eating a balanced / healthy diet, I think definitely helps. But ultimately, getting your flu shot, keeping up on your immunizations, and overall hand hygiene, like such a nurse thing to say, but I really do think that it makes a difference. And other than that, you just hope that you build up the antibodies, because honestly, oh, the biggest one of all, sleep. Do not think that in your first year of nursing, in your second year of nursing, in your 20th year of nursing, that you can get by without sleeping. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna get sick and you're gonna regret it. So get your sleep, people. This is not a joke. Someone said engagement, babies in the future, or no kids. Yes, 100%. I feel like I'm one of those people that was born to be a mom. Ryan knows this. Ryan accepts this. He definitely wants kids in the future too. We want kids together. We just are in no rush to do so. There's literally days where I feel like I want a baby now. Like literally so badly, have baby fever sometimes. And then there's other days where I'm like, no, I want to travel. I want to see the world. I want to experience everything as an engaged couple, as a dating couple, as a married couple, all those things. So I just like, whenever God decides to give us kids, he'll give us kids. That's all I gotta say about that. Is ER for preceptorship a right decision, especially if I might not know some of the skills / procedures? 100%. Don't let not knowing things discourage you from doing them, if that makes sense. So when I first started in the OR, I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew that I was intrigued by it. I knew that I wanted to learn about it. So if you want to learn about ER, you want to learn the procedures, you want to learn how to start IVs and IO access and Foleys and G tubes and intubations and all that jazz, go for it. You are never going to learn more than you will in your preceptorship / in your first year of nursing school. Like, I mean, nursing, working as a nurse, like just go for it. If it's something you're interested in, it's something that you're intrigued by, go for it. Do not let it discourage you if you don't know what you want to do. I had really good friends in nursing school that did ER as their preceptorship and they learned a ton. How do you deal with nursing burnout? This is such a good question because honestly, I feel it from time to time. I think the biggest advice I have on that is not making your job, not revolving your life, your entire life around your job. So when you leave work each day, like I said, if you can try to just like leave work at work, go home and go about your life in the way that you normally would if you had any other job. I think that's the best way to stop burnout from happening. I also think keeping your work life and your home life completely separate. If you're feeling burnt out, you're feeling super stressed, take a step back, take a day off, take a few days off, whatever you need to do to kind of reset yourself and jump back in and realize that the reason you're in this profession is for patients. I think a lot of times you can get steered in different directions, like away from realizing that the reason you work where you work and do what you do is because you want to care for patients. So at the end of the day, that's what kind of keeps me going. But burnout is real. We get worked to the bone sometimes, and it's okay to verbalize when you're feeling that way. Be honest with your manager, be honest with your charge nurse, have pinch conversations with coworkers when you need to. They actually can be very effective, and yeah, that's what I would say about that. Biggest piece of advice for job interviews as a new grad RN, I have an entire video on this, so I will link it down below, but it's called Advice for New and Future RN Interviews, I think, something like that. Yeah, I'll link it down below. Are you still thinking about maybe going into aesthetics? 100% I'm still thinking about going into aesthetics. Stay tuned soon for a video on that because I want to explain more. But yes, I'm super excited about it, and I think it's going to be a really good path for me to go into. That's going to do it for part 1. I'm not sure if I'll include part 2 in the same video, but you guys just heard Ryan come in here. We're going to go downstairs and relax because it's been a really stressful day, really long day. Ryan got in a car accident yesterday. Don't worry, he's completely fine. But I think we're both just like at our wits end for this week, and we just kind of want to go relax, cuddle downstairs. So we'll either film part 2 tonight or tomorrow when we are driving to Rifle, because we're going home to his parents' house for the weekend. So either way, you guys will see part 2 where we answer kind of more of the relationship questions and the ones that involve both of us and the ones that involve just Ryan, because I know you guys are super interested in him too. So anyways, thank you for watching. I love you guys, and so does Ryan, and I'll see you back for part 2. Bye.